Hello and good afternoon. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, everyone. And today I have a subscriber who's interested in having a look at the car and has come to take a look at it. And he knows everything about the car. I did promise that I would prioritize subscribers over anybody else who's bidding for the car. And yeah, so Spencer's come along and we're about to go for a test drive. I've shown him the history of the car. He knows a lot about the car. He's obviously seen all of the videos. And yeah, I think the only question in his mind is, does he want to take on a car with so many owners? And also, I guess, you know, whether or not we'll meet at what we think the car is worth. But it's still great to meet him, and we're going to go out for a test drive and see how the car performs today. So I'm a little bit sad, but you know, cars come and go, so it's okay. So I'll keep you guys posted on how we get on. We've had a walk around the car. We've looked at the paperwork. There's only one thing to do now, and that's fire it up and take it for a drive. Right, so we're in the car with Spencer, who's a subscriber of the channel and has come over to look at the car, and he's told me he's never driven an XKR before, so I thought, oh, I've got to film this because one of the great things is, you know, getting a reaction from somebody who's never ever driven an XKR.
Seat forward, sorry.
Just on the door card there.
And that is which way?
The bottom thing. Yeah, there we go. So you can do that or that.
Just say park, drive here.
Yep. And then if you wanted to go left.
Oh, go left.
Yeah. Go left and then left again. Maybe. And then you'll have a bit of a run up here, and then we're going up to, yeah. And then this is it should be a 50 mile per hour road, so you can kind of enjoy a little bit more than a 30 mile per hour road. And then you'll have a little burst of 60 miles per hour, and then you just come back, and that's like your lap, your first lap.
It feels nice.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the suspension has been inspected, is in good condition, and it's the cat suspension. So
because you had some work done on the suspension, you had some arms done on.
That's right, yeah, some arms done, and also had them inspected and had some bushes replaced.
Yeah.
Just to make sure there's no play, and the rest of it was actually very good.
Yeah.
And that's why I was saying that this car has really good suspension, like it's robust.
Yeah.
It's not like it's going to keep failing on you, or, you know, it actually deals with British roads really well.
Sure.
We were just talking earlier, myself and Spencer, about how British roads have just declined in quality over the years. But yeah, with this car, because it has the cat suspension, you'll find that the faster you're going, the better the suspension gets. Like,
does it have do you have a button then for like different rides on it, like a softer, harder, or?
No, but there is just a D Sport, which is like, you see that S come on. Yeah, and it does firm up the ride.
Okay.
And then this is like this, but it's in the softest setting right now.
Good. Yeah.
So it doesn't get any softer than this.
I think soft is good for this country.
Yeah, exactly. But I think this is the right level, but because I thought when I bought the car, I thought an XKR is going to be very firm, like, because most cars in this performance class tend to be very firm riding.
Sure. Yeah.
Like BMWs that perform in this class are very firm.
Yes.
This car actually, surprisingly, is probably the softest car I've driven in its performance class.
Yeah, it does seem, it seems to ride nicely.
Yeah, it really is a great drive. And then, unfortunately, we're stuck behind these vans, but you know, we'll come up to a slightly bigger roundabout. I'll tell you which one it is, and from that roundabout we'll be going left.
Okay.
And then you can give it the beans up to 60.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah, and it sounds better. Disturb the neighbours.
Respectful to your neighbours.
So I like it. Yeah, so I like it that when I'm rolling, it's actually pretty quiet. It's only when you put your foot down does it actually make any sound.
Yeah.
But when you actually just leave it on idle, and the car's warm, mind you, if the car's cold, it's still pretty loud.
Yeah.
But if the car's warm, you can basically roll it in to your street reasonably quietly.
Sure. Yeah.
I say reasonably because it feels like it's quiet, but then when you switch it off, you realize how much of a noise it was actually making, because all of a sudden there's silence and you're like, okay, it's probably a bit loud, yes. So they probably really hate me because I've had an SL55 AMG and then I had a CL500, which was also surprisingly loud. But the SL55 AMG, it was just like this monster. Even when it was idling, it was idle like, it would just idle like that, and yeah, it was just very embarrassing because I'm a middle-aged guy driving this really stupidly loud car, and then on top of that, I've decided to come home late every weekend. I'm just like probably the worst neighbor. Okay, this is where we're gonna go left. Hopefully this van's gonna go straight, so you can really go on. See what I mean? That you get it's over very quickly.
From being docile to being an absolute animal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. And then there was
you can fall in love with this.
you can, and you know what you haven't done is joined a motorway. You know when you join a motorway and you're able to corner at a high speed when you're joining it because the speed limit goes up just before.
Is it left here again?
Yeah, you can go left or you can turn around and do that again, and then and then we can go back the way we came. But yeah, that never gets old. You see, that's the thing. I've done like 6,000 miles in this car, and I still that never gets old, and it's always over too quickly.
It feels tight.
Yeah, no, it does.
Yeah.
And and that's what made me want to take the punt on the car, because it looked tight, it drove tight, it just felt right for me. So I just thought, at the end of the day, I feel like I've got confidence in this car. And it actually didn't let me down. A lot of the work that I did, except for the engine mounts and the coolant hoses, was stuff that I brought on myself.
That right down there again?
Yeah, right down there again. But we could have also, I don't know whether or not that's enough of a test drive for you, or did you want to take it into a motorway?
No, it's fun.
Yeah. Also, I never really let the fuel go below half a tank, because I've got this thing that
you super leaded on it, yeah?
Yeah, always. E5 every time. No way anything else. So always super unleaded. Not that you can't put E10 in, but I just wouldn't advise it, because the cars punish you with engine management lights. Yeah. Like, you're going cheap on me, are you? Here's an engine management light for you.
It deserves.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you? I mean, so yeah, for sure. Definitely give it E5 every time. And also, I've got this thing that I don't know why, but when I was a lot younger, somebody told me that always keep your car more than half tank full. Why? Because there's scum swimming at the top of the fuel, and as you go down to reserve, that scum then goes through your filter. So if you want to keep your fuel filter clean, even though I've put so much that red fuel treatment, the injector cleaner. Yes. I've put a good few bottles of that in, despite putting E5 and despite always having it more than half full, just to make sure that the jets are squirting as much fuel as accurately as possible, so it's not having an impact on the performance of the car. Sure, yeah. So hopefully it isn't, but yeah, I don't know, maybe that's just my OCD as well a bit.
Do they do that with the services? They clean the fuel injectors and stuff like that as well?
They don't actually. So they would change the fuel filter for you if you asked them. Yeah. Although on this, it's an inline fuel filter, which was recently changed. So I didn't feel like, and then they tend to go for a good, I think it's every 40,000 miles.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but every 40,000 miles you ought to change the fuel filter.
Okay.
And it's not an expensive part. I think it's about 40 quid from Jaguar.
Yeah.
It's and fitting it is relatively easy as well. In fact, funny you say that. Our friend Paul on Life on Cars, he's just done a video about changing the fuel filter, and I was literally, as soon as I saw that video, I thought, oh, I should go and change my fuel filter.
Yeah.
But then I thought, oh no, I'm selling the car, it's on auction, and I'm like, well, maybe I should just change the fuel filter anyway. Then the buyer will appreciate it. Obviously, it never really works out that way, but that's just me thinking, oh well, I want to do that, And now that he's shown me where it is, I might have a go at doing it myself. But I didn't watch the end of that video, and he said, and the title of the video said, I changed the fuel filter and then use a hacksaw. So I'm like, what?
That's scary.
Yeah, so I'm like, maybe I don't want to do that job. I'll see how that video goes. If it all goes okay for him, then fine. But if not, then maybe I'll just give it to Mark. Mark will probably do it in 2 minutes in his sleep,
He does seem very, very practical, isn't he?
Yeah, have you met him?
No, I've just seen YouTube. There's so many stuff on Jags I've been looking at.
Yeah. So Mark is brilliant. I can't. So we've just finished the test drive, and the car obviously has performed really well because I'm such a stickler for performance, and I've made sure that the car drives well. I'm its biggest critic, so there's nothing Spencer's going to say about this car that I don't say about it already. And one of the things that bothers him is the amount of owners, which is fair enough, because if you want a car that you're hoping to collect and it is a collector's item and you want to sell on, factors like that will play a part in how you value the car and how others value the car, regardless of how good it is. So you could have a car that has 2 or 3 or 4 owners and could be in a lot worse condition, but will still hold more market value simply because of the numbers on the logbook. And that's the part with it. So I did say that all subscribers are welcome to this car at the discounted rate of £11,000. And that's what I asked Spencer. In fairness to all the other subscribers, that's what I asked Spencer to pay. But Spencer's, we're just going to have a little to and fro, I think, because he's made an offer of £10,000 now. He's a subscriber. I do like him. He's a nice chap, but as everybody knows,
lovely chap.
He's a lovely chap, but I've spent nearly 17,000 on it. Can I afford to lose 7 grand? I know probably 2.5 grand of that was frivolous, but I don't know, Spencer. Can you meet me halfway?
10,500.
There you go. A deal is done, Carol. Oh God, I feel sad already. I honestly feel like. Okay, so we've done the deal, and the car is going to be gone. Spencer's going to be enjoying it. I have agreed with Spencer, and Spencer, you have to give me your word.
Yes.
That when you sell this car, if you ever sell this car, you will call me, and you will give me first refusal.
It could be in a year's time, a bit longer, because I might get an F-Type next, so I will call you. You'll be the first person. I'll keep in touch with you anyway. Yeah,
that would be great. And and if ever you want to put up a video of your experience with the XKR,
sure,
we'd love to feature that video on the channel.
Cool.
So we could keep this car going on the channel.
Yeah,
if
sure.
Every now and then you'd want to just send me,
pop over and
so we'll exchange telephone numbers and details, and you can tell us about how you're getting on with the car, any issues you have with the car, and when you come to sell the car, I'll be the first person who'll probably want to buy it off you.
You have first refusal, I promise.
There you go, viewers. You heard it here first. Spencer has given his word. I will be the first person he sells it to.
You could actually take me to court if I don't do that.
Can I? Okay, so that's it. Maybe the car will be back on us. Hopefully Spencer will keep us updated as to how she's got on. She's been a great car for me. I've loved every second, every mile of driving this car. Well, Spencer's just left, and he left a deposit. He'll be along to collect the car in a couple of days on Sunday. And yeah, it is with a heavy heart. But I know it's going to a good home. It's going to a subscriber who knows about this car. Spencer's had a lot of issues and health problems recently, so I did not want to dig my heels in on the price. I think I'll lose £6,000 selling this car to him, but I've done 6,000 miles, so I think, well, I've paid £1 a mile, and I think that's really worth it. During my ownership, I've enjoyed every mile. Was it worth £1 each mile? Yes, it was, absolutely. I'd probably pay £2 a mile to drive that car. So yeah, I think I've sent it to the right place, and I've retained the option to buy it back. So I have no doubt that this car will be back on this channel whenever Spencer's had his fun with it. But until then, I think this song perfectly sums up how I'm feeling right now.
Well, I know your smell. I've been addicted to you. Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. You have been the one. You have been the one for